All right, so today on I Have a Spending Problem. Okay, so today we have another bag, so that means we got another review. What we got today is the Vertx Gamut 2.0. I think this is like an older colorway, but all the features are the exact same of what's going out right now. So we'll go ahead and do a quick overview of all the things on the outside, and then we'll look at all the pockets on the inside, and I'll show what like a regular like commuter slash like everyday carry type loadout would look inside this bag. All right, so first things first, we're looking at a 25-liter bag. This goes for, right now, $241. So it's kind of like in that mid-tier price. It's not exactly like Mystery Ranch or Triple Lot Design expensive, but it's also not Amazon brand cheap. So it's somewhere, in the middle. And then, as you can see, we have this green and brown colorway. They don't actually sell this one anymore, at least I don't think. I haven't seen it on their website. Right now, what they're running is in all black, which looks pretty cool. They have a like forest green one that looks pretty dope. One called Tumbleweed and one called Heather Reef. We'll throw some pictures of those so you guys can actually see what it is that we're talking about. So like I said, this is a 25-liter pack, so it's perfect for everyday carry or commuting. And then honestly, if you're packing light, maybe even like an overnighter, maybe a weekend, it all depends on how you pack. So we have YKK zippers all around, also on the inside, so that's nice. So there's some solid zippers. And then this is made out of a bonded nylon thread. And then at critical seams and like certain points like on the bottom and stuff like that, you can kind of tell that it was reinforced. They put a little more material, a little more thought into the actual construction of this bag. And I kind of appreciate that because like they paid attention to where there's going to be a lot of wear and tear on a bag like this. So going around on the outside, as you can see right here, we have these two external water bottle pockets. These are actually one of the cons that I have about the bag, but we'll talk about those here in a little bit. Right on the front, you've got this like flat, also gusseted like panel that has this pull tab, as well as zippers on the side. This is one of the unique pieces of the bag, and we'll get to it. Don't worry, we'll talk about it. Right here at the bottom, you have like a kind of low-key strip of Velcro. So if you got any morale patches or like a name kind of like tape that you want to slap on there, you can go ahead and do that. But I do like how the Velcro is the exact same color as this brown like front part of the bag. So if you're not looking too hard, you can't really tell, so it doesn't scream like super tactical, like I'm in the military, something like that. So I think that's kind of thoughtful. On the top, you have like where this green material is. It feels a little different than the rest of the bag, almost like plasticky. I don't know, but I don't exactly know what to call it, but it feels pretty nice. It feels kind of water resistant. And then at the top, you have a quick access pocket for all kinds of items. Up here, you have this grab handle. It's kind of like faux leather. I'll double check. I don't think it's real leather, but it's kind of nice. It feels good to the touch. You can get like a serious like handhold in there. So if you're grabbing this out of like a car or you're on a plane or something like that, you can just grab this, kind of handle it however you want, and it feels solid. It's not going anywhere. Then you have the main compartment, which runs up on the side all the way down. So we're talking full clamshell. You can open this bad boy up 180 degrees, put all your stuff in, get all your stuff out. It does a good job. And then also on the sides, to get into the main compartment, you have these little button clasps. So if you just wanted like a little, here, I'll show you real quick. You just want them to open just a little bit, you can do that. And then, grab all your stuff from the top or whatever. And you got those little clasps that kind of keep it in place so the zippers aren't all loosey-goose. And then also behind the water bottle pockets are these like kind of admin compartments on either side of the bag. I like them in practice, but we'll go ahead and take a look at why I don't think they're perfect. And then on the back, you have some okay shoulder straps. They're not, game changing, but they're also not like a drawstring bag. These are okay. They get the job done. And then you have this like padded, like 3D mold kind of thing going on with the Vertx logo. You got a little lumbar support here. It's okay. It's It's all right. I'll leave it at that. And then finally, you have what's probably considered like the main draw to Vertx and like their bags, their line of like gear or whatever. You have the concealed carry compartment, and it comes with this massive like pole zipper. So you open this up and you can see this is just a giant, like, perfect spot for all kinds of Velcro accessories. And Vertx makes a ton. They have their Tactigami line of pouches, holsters, all kinds of crazy stuff. So if you're off-body carrying like a weapon or something like that, there's tons that you can do with this bag. Yeah, so that was basically the outside, and then also the concealed carry compartment. We'll look at that a little bit more, but now we're gonna go ahead and look at what's actually, what's in this bag. Okay, so first up, we're gonna talk about this front panel. So as you can see, you have these two zippers on the side, and then you also have this pull tab. So real quick, we'll go ahead and pull this down, and you can see on this side, you have a ton of MOLLE. So you have Velcro on the MOLLE strips all the way down, and then you also have these G-hooks on the flap. So this is like a beaver tail style compartment, or whatever you want to call it, and it's interesting. I personally would never use it just because of how I like to carry my stuff. I prefer a much sleeker kind of look, but if you have a bunch of gear that you're carrying, or if you had this as like a range bag or something like that, and you had like a helmet or like a bulky kind of rain jacket or whatever other jacket it is that you're carrying, if you needed the extra space, like 25 liters just isn't cutting it, what you could do is you can partially zip this up. So you can use these G-hooks to hook onto the outside of the pack. There are these like little slits or whatever for you to actually clip these guys in. So I'll show you here. Whoops. There it is. And then you zip up the sides, and it gives you just a little bit more extra space. So yeah, I don't know. It's not for everybody, but I can appreciate the thought. So we'll go ahead and take these down. And there's also the option, if you really wanted this to look and scream like that tactical kind of like vibe, you have this little flap down here at the bottom where you can rip this open and tuck this guy inside. I'm not going to do that because it's kind of a pain to pull it out, and I would never carry this bag like this. But for those of you that are like crazy diehard, I gotta have my MOLLE showing, you have an option. And that's with all the Vertx Gamut bags. So for the black one that looks pretty sleek, you can make it look a little more tactical, They give you options with this bag, and again, I can appreciate that. So next up is the quick access compartment right in here at the top. So this is the perfect size for like your wallet, your phone, if you're like commuting or going through TSA or something like that, and you just don't want to have a bunch of stuff in your pockets. This is the pocket to dump all your junk in here. So right now, all I've got is like my wallet, and then also my keys attached to this little keychain holder thing. It is made out of plastic, but it gets the job done. And then if you have like chapstick, whatever other pocket stuff that you got on you, you can just go ahead and dump that right in there. It's a solid size. I've had some bags with really small quick access compartments. This is definitely on the larger side, and I like it a lot. So next up, we're going to talk about the water bottle pockets on the outside. Now, for the most part, I like an external water bottle pocket. Water is important. We all got to hydrate. We all got to drink. These guys, I don't know. They're tight. They're really tight. So this is I think it's called a Hydro Peak. It's not mine, it's my buddy's. But it's not shaped like a regular like Hydro Flask or Camelback or something like that. It's a little bit thinner down at the bottom. So I was able to squeeze it into this pocket with some effort. But like right here, I have a Earthwell, sorry. And this thing will not fit in here at all. Like, oh. Okay, it's like kind of in there. But you can see, it's like not sitting in the bottom with like very little effort. This thing is gonna like push up. I don't feel like it's actually gonna keep my water bottle in there. And yeah, they just feel really tight, which is crazy to me. Not crazy, but like interesting to me because the material does seem to have some, like, I don't know, elastic going on in there, but they're super tight. They get the job done. I feel like, this is just like a little energy drink. So if you're carrying like really slim water bottles, or you're just buying like energy drinks, but if you have like a coffee cup or like a thicker metal water bottle, you're gonna struggle getting these in there. And then also, when you have your water bottles in here, it makes using these side admin pockets almost impossible because it eats up all the space. So having anything in the pockets themselves is gonna eat up the space of the water bottle pocket. So on these, I really like them in practice. Like, ooh, I gotta stop saying that. I really like them in theory, but in practice, they're just not that great. So on the flap, you have this like zip pocket with a little bit of mesh material going on, so there's some stretch. It's also kind of see-through, so you can sort of see what you have going on in there. And then on the side closest to the bag, there's just one big pocket right here, so I just have Altoids right there. So we'll go ahead and put that back in there. And the other side is very similar. So we'll flip this around and then open this up. And you can see you still have the mesh pocket with the zipper on the outside. And then on this side, you have a little more organization. So you have these very small, like slip pockets. I imagine they're for pens and other small things like that. And then you have a second layer, just one big dump pocket. I'm not really sure what you'd put in there, but it's there. And then you have one very large, like kind of deep pocket closest to the bag. So all I have in here is a tourniquet, just because I like to carry one around with me. So yeah, in theory, I like them. In practice, not so good. Coupled with the water bottle pockets, I feel like they kind of cancel each other out. Like it doesn't add all that much for the bag as a whole. So now we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this bag. So like I said earlier, you have these little clip or button clasps on either side that stop you from completely opening. So once you flip this top flap down, you can see you have these little pockets on the side. And I don't know why or like what it is, but I really like this design for this bag. I had never seen like a little admin pockets running sideways, but it's great. So for this top flap, it's perfect. So you got a big pocket right here, which I have a Leatherman signal in. And then I also have a flashlight in one, my Fellholter tie bolt in the other. And then there's one more for like a pencil or something like that. If I carried more pens, this would be ideal if I had other smaller items. But this thing, it's like to me, this makes this bag stand out from other bags. And all it is sideways running, admin slots. But I love it. And then going back to the main compartment, we'll go ahead and take these little clasps off. And then you can see this is just one giant clamshell opening. So this bag is going to open up completely. So you lay it flat like that to load it up. And then on the inside, or on the outside flap, you have these two mesh pockets. Both of them have YKK zippers, like we said earlier. Right now, I don't really have much in there. This one's completely empty. I just have like a SD card reader right here. But they aren't huge. So you're gonna wanna put flat items in there. So small notebooks, extra pens, cables, things like that. You're gonna want this to stay pretty flat. Otherwise, it's gonna eat up a lot of the internal space. So one of the big things that I like to talk about, and one of the reasons why I started this channel, is because guys never talk about packing their lunches. So you can, in fact, fit a decent sized Tupperware into this bag. Hopefully you have it like kind of sealed, because the inside of this bag is a little tight. So I kind of got to stack my lunch like that. I can't have it laying flat completely. The ergonomics of the bag just don't work. But I can fit a Tupperware in here, which is great. This is a huge win for me. And then I also just keep my small pouch of things that I always want with me. but I don't necessarily want out and about all the time. And then a book. I always got a book with me. I like to read. Sue me. And then I also have my Logitech MX Master mouse. This thing is phenomenal. I've had it for a couple weeks, and if you don't have one of these, you should get one. So that's the majority of the main compartment. So this is much more of like a personal preference, but I really like having a separate laptop compartment. And in a sense, you kind of do have that with this bag, but the way they initially designed this and have it pitched on their website is the laptop compartment is also in the main compartment. So you can see you have this big black, like, I don't even know what to call it, separator or like divider that has the Vertx logo on it. So it looks pretty cool, but it eats up a decent amount of space of the main compartment. And it says that it can hold up to a 15-inch laptop. Honestly, you might get away with a 16-inch laptop, but we'll see. But what I have in here right now is my 14-inch MacBook Pro. And the reason why I say I think you can fit a 16-inch in there is because this fits in there with no problem. Like, there's plenty of room. And then I also, just for fun, put my iPad Pro in there. So I had these two just like stacked. And that takes up like a decent amount of space, like maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches of like actual depth. And this thing, yeah, just took it no problem. One thing to note is that these have like little Velcro tabs that attach to the back of basically the back panel of the main compartment. So if you didn't want this at all and it was taking up too much space for you in the main compartment, you can just rip this whole thing out. If you're not carrying a laptop or you just really need that extra space, go ahead and take this whole thing out. The back panel is full of Velcro, so you can slap patches or any extra like tactigami, like organization stuff that you have. You can just slap it right on there. And then this thing also is suspended, so you don't have to worry about dropping your bag and then banging up your laptop or your tablet, whatever it is you have in there. This thing is off and like raised off the bottom of the bag. And then just a couple more things for the main compartment. You have a Velcro like water bladder tab thing, so you can put like a camelback type thing in here, maybe slip it in the back so it's not eating up all the space in here. You have that option. And then on the flap, the external flap, you have another Velcro tab that you can attach to the top of this pack. I'll be honest, I don't know why you would set your bag up like this, but if this was zipped up and you just like really quickly had to get to maybe your main or your little admin pockets up here at the top, you can just rip this down really quick and just get in there. I can't think of a reason why you would do that, but if you guys know, go ahead and let me know, enlighten us. But yeah, that's about it for the main compartment. So we're almost done with this bag. Like I said before, the shoulder straps are shoulder straps. They get the job done. They're not super, well, they're not uncomfortable. So the shoulder straps are shoulder straps. They're not the best that I've ever, had on my shoulders, but they're definitely not the worst. So if you have this loaded up with like 15, 20 pounds, walking around the city or wherever it is that you're at, you'll be okay. Like it's fine. So we'll get these out of the way. There is a hip belt that comes with this that you can kind of like tuck behind this little lumbar support right here. But to be honest with you, I don't know why you would need that for a 25-liter pack. Like, when I think hip belt, I think you're carrying a ton of weight. In a bag like this, you probably shouldn't be, but it's there if you need it. Now, I did get this bag from a buddy. I didn't actually purchase this myself. So I don't know if it came with a sternum strap, but I guarantee on their website that they have some out there if you are like a sternum strap kind of person. So with these shoulder straps out of the way, we can revisit this CCW pocket. So it's just like the main compartment with its clamshell design. And again, you got this honking pull tab. Like, this thing's huge. There's no missing it. And I guess that's the whole point. So if you're carrying a pistol off body and you find yourself in a not great situation and you have to bear arms to defend yourself, defend the people around you, you just rip this thing down. And then on the Velcro side, you can have your magazine pouches, you can have your holster, and it's all right there. You're good to go. I haven't personally used this for off-body carry, but I kind of see this as like if I really needed to, I could put my laptop back here if for whatever reason it was 16 or 17 inches, didn't fit in the main compartment. But I also like to just slip like folders and stuff. Again, I work in like an office type environment, so I just stuff all my papers in here and they're out of the way. You don't have to worry about everything else that I'm carrying, kind of just banging up the papers. But that's it for the CCW compartment, and honestly, that's the bag. So, like I said, that's the Vertx Gamut 2.0. Overall, I do think it's a good bag. If you're an EDC kind of person, if you're a commuter, this bag will check a lot of boxes for you guys out there. There are a lot of, you can tell, there's a lot of attention to detail. There's a lot of confidence in the way it's constructed. There's tons of organization. You can fit, I don't know, all kinds of stuff in here. It's great. There are some cons though. So it's 25 liters, but I think similar to like the Axiom 24, you're working strictly within those 25 liters. And it is spaced out kind of, around the whole pack. So I do find that the main compartment sometimes is just a little too small or like a little too narrow for the things that I'm carrying. So if I don't have this, one particular rectangle Tupperware and I'm bringing my round one or whatever, sometimes it doesn't fit. And that's a bit of a bummer because there's not a lot of give with the material. And also the water bottle pockets. That is a huge bummer for me because in a sense, that's wasted space for me personally, just because of the size of the bottles that I carry. For some people, it might not be a problem. And then again, having the admin compartments behind the water bottles, if you're using those water bottle pockets for what they're intended for, you're taking up a ton of that space on the inside. So it's kind of like a give and take with this bag. Overall, I would recommend it to people to try out. I know Vertx oftentimes offers like a 15% discount for like first time buyers. There's tons of these on eBay, so you can get them secondhand. Also, I think they run pretty big sales for all the major holidays. And then they're on Amazon. You can find these bags everywhere. So if you're starting to put your foot into that, considered carry kind of realm, this is actually a really good start. So take everything that I've said with like a grain of salt because these are all my personal preferences, but it's a solid bag. I don't use this bag that often just because I'm, constantly searching for something new, but I use it for like 3 or 4 months straight and I got a kick out of it. And every now and then I open my closet and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll bust that back out. So that's something to think about. It looks cool. You can carry a decent amount in there and it's pretty cool. One thing to consider though, Vertx has kind of blown up as a company. I feel like anybody that's into shooting or anybody that's into like EDC is aware of this company. And from the start, I think one of their goals was to create like bags or like, clothes and stuff like that that are tailored towards like that gray man, style. Like you're just like a low key guy, but you might be carrying, you guys know what I'm talking about. But simply because of the nature of the company and how big they've gotten, I feel like if I saw a guy out and about with something that's like Vertx branded, I'd be like, okay, this guy, he's probably carrying like a pistol or something like that, which is cool. Go ahead, do your thing. But if that's what you're going for, if you're trying to pull off that gray man kind of thing, maybe don't go with this bag because it's kind of screaming gray man at this point. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Other than that, it's a solid bag and I would recommend it. All right, guys, so there you have it. That's the Vertx Gamut 2.0. Great bag. Check it out. If you like this content, go ahead and like and subscribe. We own a bunch of bags, Nick and I collectively, so we're going to have a ton of bag reviews like this. We have other gear reviews coming out. We have a lot of stuff, in the queue for you guys. So like I said, like and subscribe. Let us know any ideas that you might have, any product recommendations, anything you'd like to see. And that's it. We'll see you next time.